Welcome to the Mile 99 interview with your hosts, Jessica Harris,
Mike Turner,
and Greg Larkin.
Enjoy this episode. We'll see you on the trails.
See you out there.
See you there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mile 99 interview. I am one of your hosts, Jessica Harris. The Mile 99 is a place to hang out with like-minded folks in our trail community, share our stories, successes, failures, and deepest trail secrets. This is also the place to get the latest in local race news and find out what's going on in our community. We record live, one take, no breaks, and unlike the trails, what is said here is on the record. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Greg Larkin and Mike Turner. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. I was in Arizona this weekend, and it was 77 degrees at Black Canyon. Oh, it was so nice and warm. Facing someone I met actually in the community news. I met Morgan Morris at Thirsty Thursday, and we were chatting about the Bear 100, which I ran last year, and she's running this year. We were talking about it, and she invited me to come pace her, and so I said, heck yeah. So I went out there and enjoyed pacing. We picked her up at mile 37.5 and ran to the end. It was beautiful. The desert, saw all people from all over. It's really well supported by our community. People from the Bay Area and Auburn. A lot of locals always go. So it was a good weekend. Yeah, I liked it. Had fun. Greg Larkin, how's it going over there?
Doing good. I had a really good training weekend. Got a lot of climbing in, which is my forte. Climbing legs are coming back. I'm really happy about that. Finished up a max effort rowing competition on Saturday before the run, so that was fun. Slotting that in. So it's like a 4-week virtual competition. So I had a good day that day, and so I decided to jump in a formidable 50K. Let's see how that goes. Feel like things are starting to click a little bit. I don't know about the durability. Things might fall apart after 20 miles, but I think I'll have a couple good climbs in the beginning anyway. So we'll see. How are you doing, Jessica?
I am good. I'm looking at a post-Valentine's Day explosion in my house. Lots of candy. Actually, I want to plug Trader Joe's, these Smashin' S'mores. They're little candy s'mores, and you put them in the microwave for like 6 seconds. They are terrible, but I'm running a race this weekend. I'm running Formidable as well. So I feel like I can have extra calories. My third born started T-ball. I am not a T-ball person or parent, but I am the team parent, and my co-parent is the team coach. So we had a first practice right before this. It's going to be so fun watching 4, 5, and 6-year-olds running around, throwing stuff around, just crazy, but it'll be fun. Besides personal stuff, for this Zoom and for our Facebook Live, it's all interactive. So if you have any questions, send them to me, post them in the chat. We will get them answered somewhere in the interview, or personally or privately, or even in the post show. We are on Patreon. It is $1, and we have some get ready for Patreon only content. So for $1, besides helping us keep the lights on around here, you'll be getting extra content from all of us, post-show, pre-show, on the trails. You're going to have some chances to ask us any questions. So still $1 a month. We are going to be upping the ante on that. So get in while it's still just $1. We do have our shirts. We'll make sure to post that in the chat as well. And we also have a giveaway. I think most of you guys are here for that. We're raffling off a giveaway for Way Too Cool 50K. You got to stay to the very end. And AR 25 or 50 for 2022, and then Way Too Cool 2023. In the chat, any chat, Zoom chat or Facebook chat, put a frog emoji if you would like to be entered to Way Too Cool 2023, or put a star if you would like to run 2022 AR 25 or 50. You get double entries for watching the episode today. So that's all of our personal news. Greg, what's going on in the community?
Well, as previously mentioned, yeah, Formidable coming up this weekend, multiple distances, I believe. So yeah, whether you're going for the 50K or some 35K, I believe, and a couple others, we'll definitely be looking for you out there. If you see any of us out there, just say hi, pull us aside, hopefully during the final sprint of the line. That's always the best time to say hi. And we'll hope to see a lot of our friends and supporters out there. We've got so many other races coming up. We've got Lost Trail. We've got Salmon Falls on the 26th, the following weekend. And Jessica will be at the Pedro Hill aid station for Salmon Falls. What is that, about 4 miles in, 4.5 miles or so? Something around.
I should know this. It's the first day. It's between
Didn't
4
mean
or
to-
6.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot. Well, I think the key feature is it's right before the West Ridge climb. So after that, we've got Marin Ultra Challenge coming. We've got Pioneer Spirit, of course, AR25. Well, way to cool, as we've mentioned, AR25 and 50. So many great races coming up. We have and Canyons presented by UTMB on the 23rd of April. So big news there. If you haven't heard, we're going to be managing the Mammoth Bar aid station. We'd love to have some volunteers come out, help us out with that. It's an early shift. You're going to see all the runners because no one will have dropped out by that point. It's going to be a mad party in that first aid station. So definitely get yourself over there. We'd love to see you. So I think we're going to be sending out sign up sheet on that, if I remember correctly. Going to be also tracking the Forlorn Hope right now, and they are the Donner Relief Expedition people that we've interviewed in the past. Our team, they're up in the Sierras heading towards Donner Lake right now, and you can track them at forlornhope.org. They will be arriving at Donner Lake on Friday. So it's a great way to just kind of keep up with some history of the area. They've really put a lot of time and research into it, and they're doing a great job up there. And I know they're starting to hit the snow level. So I'm sure it's going to be a pretty interesting next couple of days. So great to see y'all, and over to you.
Just one more, because our Facebook chat is exploding because people want in on Way Too Cool and AR50. You guys need to pick one, a frog or a star, to get into the giveaway, because there's 2 different bags. So I need to know. So just pick one and you guys get double entry. And now we are going to get right into our episode. So we would like to warmly welcome back to our show, Julie Fingar. She's the owner of NorCal Ultras and directs many of our iconic and legendary races in the area, including Way Too Cool 50K, American River 50K, and Rio Del Lago 100. Julia is also owner and operator of Ripwear. We last spoke to her in October, episode 50 for Rio Del Lago 100 miler, which was a huge success. Julie is an active member in our ultra community. Recently, she completed another Dreadmill 100. Yes, 100 miles on the trail. We will get into that, or on the treadmill. We'll get into that. She's joined us here tonight to discuss NorCal Ultra's next event, Way Too Cool 50, presented by Ultra. Get into that. Hey, Julie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Hanging in there. Lots of people are interested in your race tonight. Well, always. 700 people are running that event.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, you guys, and totally appreciate all the support, and super excited that so many people are tuning in and want to be a part of the giveaway for this year's AR 25, 50, and then next year's 2023 Way Too Cool. So yeah, we are excited to be back. As you know, we had the last Way Too Cool was 2020. So we've had a little bit of a break here, and we're super, super excited to get rolling again.
We're going to get into some of the fun things about the race, but what I've noticed is that Rio was a lot more fun. You had games and stuff, and this isn't just like this is just ramping up. So we're going to get into that in a bit, but there's a lot of fun things to be had coming up at your race, which is pretty exciting. It's not just a race; it's just kind of fun things you can play along with, and surprises, and which is exciting. But what I know this is the 32nd running of it, and just for the record, it's on March 5th, 2022 at 8 in the morning. and you mentioned this was, it was shut down last year, but I want to, I mean, what is the origin of the race? How did it start? Yeah, I know it's 32 years ago, but kind of get into that detail.
Yeah, so the race started in 1990. Pat and Sandy White were the first race directors, and they wanted to just simply put on a race for their friends as part of the Sierra Express Running Club. There might be a few of you on this podcast tonight listening that know of that running club, but so 130 people started that first event in 1990, and they put it on until 1996, and then it was called the Cool Canyon Crawl. Okay, so that was the name of the race for the first 6 years, and then 1997, Greg Soderlund took the reins as the race director, and then the name went to Way Too Cool 50K at that point, but it's the same race. The name just changed and morphed into the Way to Cool 50K versus Cool Canyon Crawl.
I like that, the Cool Canyon Crawl. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like I love hearing all the old races that no longer exist. All the names. There's so many fun ones in the past. So, and as far as runners, you saw 130 people ran in the early days. It's always been one of the biggest races in Auburn as far as the number of people. Are you expecting the numbers to get back up to the pre-pandemic number of runners?
Yeah, we're right on the cusp of that 700 mark, and so that means we'll probably start a little bit under that, but yeah, we're looking forward to a nice full rounded race.
Yeah, and then one start time, right? 8 o'clock.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
One mass start.
Fun. So going back into the history of some of the, legendary people, I know a lot of our locals have run it. A lot of our original trail runners and Aubers have run it. But maybe gonna, go through a few of the earlier veterans that you know of that have kind of run this course.
Yeah, gosh, there's so many, and I'm gonna just preempt this with forgive me if I forget you, but I did take copious notes on this, and I know Ken Krause is on here tonight, and he's run many Way Too Cool 50Ks. But Bill Finkbeiner will be attempting and starting his 32nd on March 5th. So Bill joins a long list of folks: Gloria Takagishi, Dennis Scott, Dennis Seiloff, Kathy Young, Janet Pucci, who have done a myriad of Way Too Cool Canyon Crawls and Way Too Cools over the years. Bill Hambrick has completed 20 plus of these. Tim Tweetmeyer, gosh, there's a laundry list of folks who have many combined Cool Canyon Crawls and Way Too Cool 50Ks. So super exciting to have the longevity and the notoriety of the race from 1990 until through now 2022.
Wow, that's amazing. There's a lot of names and a lot of us, just so many people. It's been one of the great local races, and imagine 32 years. That's a long history. It's amazing. What maybe I'd like to hear about the course.
I like to think of the Way to Cool course now as four races in one. So you begin at the Cool Fire Station, and you head out the Hall Road for 1.25 miles, and then you head on the trail towards Knickerbocker, cross that creek, which should be nice and cold and refreshing this year, and then at about 2.25 miles, you head onto what's called the Secret Trail. And there's a whole history behind the Secret Trail and the mining and whatnot. And if you want to sneak peek at that, join us next Tuesday for the final runner briefing. And Bill Finkbeiner is going to go over all that. But the first 8 miles takes you through Olmsted, a lot of rolling, just nice, easy running. So it's just kind of getting in the groove of things. And then you loop back to the Cool Fire Station through the finish line, which is the mile 8 aid station there. So it's going to be the ultra fan zone there as you come through the mile 8 chute. And that's where spectators and friends and families can totally join and see their runner. here at the start finish area at mile 8, all in one here. And then from mile 8, we're going to head on to the Western States Trail and take that all the way to the lower quarry crossing of Highway 49. We'll cross the highway there, and then they will be greeted onto the quarry road, and mile 99 will be supporting that aid station there. So lots of fun and fanfare, I'm sure, is going to be found there. So the quarry road, most of you have run it that are probably listening to this, but nice and smooth, a few little climbs, but nothing super technical. You can kind of get into a rhythm, meet some people, stay on your fuel and hydration. And then you're going to go up American Canyon Trail as you make your way towards Auburn Lake Trails via the Western States Trail. That's going to take you to mile 21 at ALT. And from mile 21 to mile 26, this is kind of the critical junction of the race as you're making your way to the infamous Goat Hill, which is a nice, steep, take your breath away climb up to the top. It's about a mile. It's a calf quad burner buster, but your glutes and legs will get into nicely toned spring and summer shape by climbing up Goat Hill. On the way to Goat Hill this year too, this is new. So we're going to, you'll see a bunch of ultra wind flags as you make your ascent to the top of that aid station. And there's going to be a contest of GOAT, GOAT, who is your greatest of all time. So you'll put a note, on a sticky note at the aid station, you'll dump it into the frog box there at that aid station. And then we're going to pick a winner, and the winner is going to win a free pair of Ultra shoes there. So that's going to be super fun. Let me backtrack onto mile 21 at the ALT aid station. Garmin, one of our new sponsors, we are going to have a selfie contest there. So you'll see all the Garmin signage as you enter that aid station. It will tell you exactly what to do. You'll take a selfie photo, you'll tag Garmin, NorCal Ultras, and Fleet Feet, and the winner is going to win the brand new Garmin 945. It's super, super cool. It's loaded with every feature and facet you possibly can imagine. So we'll pick that winner on Saturday night there. So back to Goat Hill, mile 26, kind of the marathon mark. And then from Goat Hill, you really are just going downhill all the way to the finish line. So you're going to cross over upper Highway 49 again at mile 29. You're going to have an aid station there full of cheering ladies with cowbells and tutus and tiaras there to cheer you on. And then from there, you've got just over a mile to the finish line, a little steep technical ascent as you leave that mile 29 aid station. But at that point, you're on a high, you're adrenaline, find a friend and run into that finish line chute at the finish of your 50K.
Wow, that's such a fun route. I mean, most of us have run out there, but yeah, that's such a fun loop out there. And to go out there to have flags and ribbons is great, because every time I go without ribbons, I'm lost out there. It's tricky back there.
Yeah, and the first 8 mile loop, I will on the record say, you do not want me as your guide. I will get you lost. We will run a million donuts out there. Christina Curley and Dennis Curley actually marked this section because technically they're the only people that really know it exactly. I could probably figure it out pretty well, but I don't want to trust myself. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I bought my first Garmin because I kept going out there and I kept getting lost. I finally needed a watch that had the night watches you can upload your route, and so this is perfect. You can win a Garmin at the race, so you don't get lost next time you're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yep. That sounds like a fun time. So back to some of the race. you mentioned all the people that have run it, but do you have any like people that have won multiple times?
Yeah, so gosh, going back, we've got Ann Trayson, we've got Dave Scott, and actually too, I want to point out Jim Howard, legend ultra veteran. He is running way too cool this year because he is in prep for Western States 100 in June, and Wayne Miles is also running this year along with Bill Finkbeiner, as mentioned, and the three of them, super shout out. They've been out there doing monstrous trail work in prep for this race. And so they're kind of sacrificing their own training every weekend to get the trail nice and pristine so that everybody has a good experience out there. But gosh, bringing it up to kind of our tenure of the race. David Roche has won, Megan Roche. 2020, challenging on the remembering all the years. 2020 race winner Darren Thomas is coming back this year. We've got a pretty solid field of elite men and women ready to compete this year. But Tim Tweetmeyer, gosh, there's so many repeat offenders that have won or podiumed. Rich Hanna, former winner and Masters winner. He'll be out there timing the race. He won't be running the race this year, but so just a lot of people have come to Way to Cool and have really enjoyed their experience.
I have a question. It's such a large amount of runners, and everyone knows it gets kind of conga line and congested. Is there a reason that there's no waves, like an elite wave, or because I know that's sometimes a question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And we did do waves for many, many years. Prior, I think 2020, we went back to a mass one start there. But the challenge with doing the wave starts, yes, it was very helpful to give people space and time to spread out and people not tripping over one another and to enhance everyone's overall individual experience. But everybody always wanted to start in wave one. So even assigning them wave two or wave three, everybody always gravitated toward wave one. And there was no way, for our team to police that, to corral that, to get nitty gritty like the Boston Marathon does, like you can't move up in your corrals. So, we have my pace signs out there, 6-minute pace, 7-minute pace, and we ask everybody to line up respective to what their average pace per mile will be to really, really help kind of organize the chaos, if you will. But typically by the first mile and a quarter on the haul road, we're able to get a pretty decent spread out of kind of the fast, the middle, the back, and it is crowded through that first 8-mile loop, and then from thereafter, it really will spread out very, very quickly. So that's kind of the why we went back to a mass start versus doing wave starts there. So
yeah, I like that idea of having certain time slots. I mean, that makes sense. I hope there's a 15. That's probably be standing back in the 15 group, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, don't get in your, just be honest, come on, everyone don't get in a 7-minute pace group if you're really like me. So
right. Yeah, no, it's for that, your safety and the safety of the race, and just you want to have room to run yourself. So if everybody just does their due diligence and lines up according to where they believe they are, it's going to work out and it's going to be a nice, smooth going off the line.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned all the names of people, and this is one of those great races that it's going to be like so many people that are just well known out there. It's just, that's going to be so fun to get out there. And we have a lot of races in town these days, but this is one of those ones that it's just all the old school people. So if you're really interested in learning who all these people are, that's the day to come out and volunteer and help out and be a spectator, because that's going to be just so many great names out there.
Yeah, we're excited, and all of these longtime veterans are just the coolest cats and super humble, and they, as much as the elites are kind of intimidated, so to speak, the veterans are intimidated because they don't really know any of these, new fresh runners anymore. So it's a combination of, old meeting new.
Yeah, that is great. Really a great community builder. What is the fastest? What's the course record?
All right. So Sherry did this for me today, so I would
Thank you,
I would
Sherry.
know this. So thanks, Sherry. So yes, 2015, both the men's and women's course records. Patrick Smythe has the course record 3:04:48, and Megan Roche in 3:41:56. So I know, obviously the on the male side, they are planning to hopefully attack that time, but it does take a lot of luck and the perfect day and conditions in order to do that. So I think 2015 was one of our last years before we started to get nice rainy and muddy conditions that always make it a little more challenging to run those fast times.
Yeah, because I think since I've been in Auburn, 16 and 17, there was some really wet years, and I imagine sometimes it's really a bad day. But that would be amazing to see if someone could get sub 3 hours on this. That would be super amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be just simply awesome to watch somebody do that. So they'll be gunning hard no matter what. So they'll give all their heart and soul to try to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of the weather, what are some of the more memorable events, like the snowy year or rain or worse rain or hot heat, or what stands out?
Yeah, so 1995 was a big storm there. I'm not sure, Ken might have been in that race that particular year, but I can tell you from 2001 to 2007, I was the captain at the Highway 49 aid station. The course was a little different configuration at that time, but I saw cold conditions. I saw years that it was 75 degrees and people weren't ready for the heat, including us locals here. And so it's been a mixed bag of weather. And right now, cross your fingers and toes, the weather, the report looks really, really good. And we've asked the weather gods and goddesses to grant us a year of freedom from the wet, windy, rainy, muddy conditions. Fun for runners, not fun for race organizers, and what happens to all of your supplies and whatnot. But it can change on the dime. I think that's the kind of interesting thing too about going into any year at Way to Cool is you just need to be prepared for any condition. And when it does get really hot, it will heat up very, very quickly, and it feels like a hot summer day. So all kinds of weather throughout many of the years at Way to Cool, which again adds to the flavor and richness of the history of the race.
Yeah, and we all know Olmsted, some years that is really bad. I mean, it can be, there's some of those muddy sections are just long, because you share it with horses, so there's a lot of trails. It's just some years when it's raining, it can be, man, no escape from that mud out there. So.
Yeah, for sure. Again, we haven't had much rain going into this, so I don't want to jinx it, but the trail is in pristine prime condition, thanks to everybody that's been working on it, and of course our weather. But again, be prepared to have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's a couple of the traditions that everyone loves. One is the cupcakes. What's the background there? I mean, what is the story with those?
Yeah, so 2008, when we took the reins, I honestly, obviously we had the frog as kind of the mascot of the race. And I just simply asked my mom if she would bake 1,000 cupcakes in her house and decorate them. And she's like, sure, no problem. So that kind of began the insanity of the whole frog cupcake circus. And so, you know, each year she would bake all these and we'd transport them to the race. That was the hardest part of getting these frogs through the canyon, driving, making sure they didn't face plant. And we'd have frogs that everybody could enjoy. But then my friend Angie Posey took the reins, and she has done them the last couple of years since my mom retired. And this year we're fortunate to have partnered with Pushkin's Bakery. They have locations in Roseville and Sacramento. So we've been getting a lot of requests for, obviously, to cater to vegans, to gluten-free, dietary restrictions and whatnot. And so now we're able to do that with their help and support. So they will be making all of the frog cake cupcakes this year. They will suit many dietary needs and restrictions. They are delicious, even if you are not a vegan or need gluten-free for whatever reason. Super, super delicious. And Angie and her team will actually be joining the folks at Pushkin's to actually help them make that on Friday, the day before the race.
Wow. So it started out as 1,000. I'm sure because I'd have 4 or 5 or 6. You'd have to stop me, you know, and those are at the finish line?
Those are at the finish line. Yes. So you got to get to the finish line to get a frog cupcake. That's the deal. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's gonna be good. Some other traditions. What's the Newt Patrol?
Yeah. So this started in Greg Sutherland's reign, and I was part of the Newt Patrol actually one year. And so everybody knows what a newt is. I think they're just super, super cute little things. And yes, they tend to come out more when it's been wet and conditions are a little more moist than dry. But we would go and start before the actual race. So we would get a start about 7 o'clock, 6:45, and we would just basically help remove the newts from the trail so that no runners would step and plop on a newt and destroy a newt. So the Newt Patrol will be going out around that time again, and just kind of looking for anything that we might want to preserve and keep a happy life for.
Well, yeah, that's nice. I've seen a lot in the canyon, especially like you said. Usually when it's really rainy, they come out. They're like a little root beer brown color, like
yes,
like a gecko kind of sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah. I should have had a picture for you guys. They're I think they're super cute. Yeah.
Yeah. They're neat little things. So that's great. Those are some fun things. And you mentioned sponsors. You mentioned Ultra. You mentioned Garmin. Other folks, Goo will be there, and Craft.
So Hyperice is massage recovery. So they make the Hypervolt percussion gun. It's amazing. You can use it on any part of your body and it will feel just fantastic to help with recovery. So they'll have an actual recovery lounge at the finish line, and they'll bring their full line of products. So you'll be able to finish, get a cupcake, get some burritos, get a beer if you'd like, and head on over to the Hyperice recovery lounge where you can demo all of their products. And they also now own the whole Normatec line too. So those of you who have used the Normatec boots, Hyperice operates that whole line from Normatec. So we'll have a pair of boots out there as well for demo.
Wow, and Monsters obviously will be there. They're one of our local favorite massage folks, and your Ripwear product, your whole line of those will be out there. Bungalow Munch Granola, and then be out there, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be giving away some Bungalow Munch Granola for several of our Spirit Awards. We're going to ask Jerry from Bungalow to actually pick those winners. So they'll be awarded based on how much fun they're having out on the trail. And Jerry is running herself, so she'll be the actual spy on course, picking out these winners as she runs along, and they will get a huge jar of her infamous granola. We also have on course, obviously, Goo has been our longtime sponsor for 14 years, and so we'll have all Goo nutrition products on course, the Roctane energy drink, Roctane gels, Goo chews, and the liquid energy, which we debuted last year at American River 50 in May, which was a huge hit. So we'll have the liquid energy as well available. And we have the Roctane Express contest on course. And so this is every aid station, all 5 aid stations have an air-filled Roctane packet. It's mixed in with the regular Goo energy gel. So you don't know, and I'm not telling you what flavor that the air filled is, so you can't go scooting through the bin to see what's what. But if you happen to find that air filled Roctane, don't be sad that there's nothing in there. You need to take that with you, pack it in your pack, bring it to the finish line, see Sherry in our awards tent, and you will win a free entry to the 2023 Way Too Cool. So there's 5 of these on course. Okay, so you want to make sure that you know, maybe just take an extra second or two and just, use your eyeballs and see if you can't see that air-filled Roctane mixed in with the gels there. But we've been doing that contest since 2008, and huge hit. A lot of our runners comment on that and like to see that. So we roll that out usually at AR as well, and Rio Del Lago.
Yeah, that's so many fun little things are happening. It's like a race full of all these fun things. And the finish line, it's like you're going to the swap meet. There's this whole rows of like tents and vendors and food. And it's just, if you're just a spectator, just go out and see so much. It's just a great thing, great place. Just lots of stuff happening. To recap the cool happenings, we talked about the Ultra Mile Shoot Fan Zone, talked about the Garmin Selfie Contest, the Ultra Goat Hill Climb. Did we mention that? We did.
Yeah.
And the Goo Roctane Express ticket contest. And what's the last frog and frogette standing?
Yeah, so that's again, if you are the last female, the last male, you'll be awarded a special prize. It's a secret as to what that prize is. So, we want to make sure that, we recognize and award everybody from the winner to the last person. That's really what, to me and to everybody, I think in this community, that this race and our races are really all about. There's always going to be winners for sure. But again, this is just trying to give everyone an opportunity to win a prize, have some fun, and really relish in that whole experience that we offer at Way to Cool. So but we really want you to be, if you're going to be the last person, this has happened in the past where people wait at the edge of the corner because they want to be the last one because they want the prize so bad. Just be honest and legit, and you'll get that prize.
Yeah, if you fake suffering, the trail gods will, the next race you're in, you will suffer for that.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Well said. I do want to mention too, at all the aid stations, we have the Goo TerraCycle pledge and program going on with all of our races. So there'll be receptacles at every aid station. They'll be clearly labeled. A volunteer will be communicating. Every and all nutrition wrapper will go in these bins, and we want to collect as many as possible. So we actually mail those back, and it's super cool. This will be in the final runner e-blast to all the participants as well. What actually happens with all of your wrappers and the whole recycling that Goo and this TerraCycle program does. So it's a really great way for us to be involved and for everybody to, really help support our environmental and recyclable efforts. So yeah, those bins will be located at every aid station, and you can put any kind of wrapper in, any nutrition wrapper in there. So it does not have to just be a goo product, but we hope you're using goo. So
Yeah, Greg has always been, I've always been admired. He has always recycled. Even when I first met him, he'd have all these nasty little packages and he'd take them home and he'd always recycle them, and it really makes a difference because you can go through 5 or 10 of those. I mean, on a race, huh, Greg?
I think I have a number of boxes of them that I still need to send in the garage. I think they moved here with me, which is kind of embarrassing, but maybe I should just bring them over to the race and dump them there.
Yes. And in the Ultra Village at the finish line, goo will be present there as well. So we'll have a big receptacle there that Greg, we will gladly take all of your wrappers. Everybody clean your houses, clean your bags, clean your packs, and we'll take those wrappers.
It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, I mean, you've put so much time, so much effort into this. Just the forethought is just incredible. And I love it. It's great for the community to see someone so dedicated and such a team so dedicated. So as if I'm coming in as a runner, as a racer, what kind of things can you tell me specifically that I should be thinking about as I, come in? What kind of advice might you offer me to, as we've seen, like there's plenty of stuff going on. How can I have a successful day out there as a runner, do you think?
Yeah, great question. Obviously, training is probably the number one thing that we hope that you've been, preparing for weeks, if not months, depending upon your level and your base of fitness. But I really highly suggest, not only as a athlete myself, but as a coach, just fueling and nutrition and having your plan and your strategy dialed. Hopefully you've been practicing that fueling in your training runs, but really making a conscientious effort to execute that on race day. If there's anything quote unquote perfect you should do, it is that fueling, as that is something that you can control. You can't control the weather. You can't control how fast your friend or your training partner, who's going to do what, but you absolutely can control your fueling. And even if it's a cooler day, you still want to hydrate often throughout the race using the goo rectane, and taking those gels and goo chews, whatever fuel again that works for your body and your system. But staying on a consistent fueling plan through the entire race, whether you really think you need it or not, will absolutely boost your performance. So I think fueling and hydration is really the key there. And of course, we say this a million times, not going out too fast, and everybody usually kind of blows that one out of the water and does some crazy kind of split on the mile 8 loop. But, you can absolutely get things like that back. So it isn't all lost if you do, in fact, make a mistake or don't execute as good as you would like to. Just be aware and make those adjustments, and don't be afraid to make those adjustments, throughout the race. Obviously there's going to be a lot of people, so gosh, team up, work with a friend, meet a new running buddy. If you're suffering, they're suffering too. Absolutely. And, misery loves company. So team up, meet some new faces out there. This is the perfect race, in fact, to do that. You'll never be alone. So really use that camaraderie to help, support. And who knows, you absolutely might, be able to get that PR by working, with a friend that you meet on the trail there. And, finally, just obviously staying positive and knowing that you're gonna get through those lows. You will have the high, you will have the low. And, it's just being persistent and running aid station to aid station, or breaking the race down into 4 sections of the course. But really, just staying, knowing that you in fact trained, that you're taking care of your body out there, and you can in fact, do this. And it's really a lot of obviously mind battling after, the 20-mile mark and those last, 10, 11 miles. It's just prepping your mind to when the body says, I don't want to do this anymore, and this hurts, and whatever the chatter, the monkey mind is, and the demons are coming in. It's knowing that, you absolutely can, in fact, you can in fact triumph and get through that. You just have to be willing to just stay there, persevere, and just use your mental performance, your mental toughness, to really forge you forward there.
It's amazing when you start to drop when your sugar starts to dip, it can be tricky because it can come across as emotional or like a low you don't understand. Sometimes you don't always get it, but food is usually, even with babies, food is usually the problem. Just feed them.
Yeah, I can definitely concur with the whole aid station. I think one of the first trail races I ever did back in New England, I was filled with hubris, and I got to the 6-mile mark and I thought, I don't need to stop here. I'll just keep going. Don't do that, people. Just take advantage of all the aid that you've got there. It's there for you. Absolutely use it. Are there any like training programs or anything like that specific for Way Too Cool that you can briefly tell us about?
Yeah, so there's a couple that have been going on through Fleet Feet, Folsom, Roseville. Fleet Feet Sacramento also has a trail program. Flahaven Ultra Coaching, Tom Flahaven's group. They are constantly training for a lot of the local races around here and whatnot. So there's ample places to, in fact, join a group if you are thinking of maybe doing AR 50 or AR 25. You can absolutely utilize one of those groups, and that will greatly help you to get some training and guidance and assistance, which is really, really helpful, especially if you're a first timer.
Yeah, those are great programs, and Fleet Feet always has wonderful support, and we've known many people that we've just loved that have worked for Fleet Feet. It's just a great way to get involved and get a training program, and you don't need to be alone when you're out there and train, and it's a good thing. One thing I want to chat about, I remember Rio, you had those Zoom calls where you kind of talked about the race. Is there anything like that coming up for Way Too Cool?
Yes, thanks for asking. On Tuesday, February 22nd, will be the Way Too Cool final runner briefing at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Even if you're not running the race and you just want to tune in, because you're going to get a history lesson that is unparalleled by Bill Finkbeiner. You could jump in for the first 15-20 minutes, and if you've had enough, that's okay. But yeah, we'll be going through all the nitty-gritty on-course nutrition, specifically what flavors of goo are going to be at mile 8, what will be at mile 11. So you'll know every little nitty-gritty detail again about on-course nutrition, any updates on the course, which as of today there are none to report, thankfully. But yeah, so we'll be going through a whole course overview, spending a little bit more time intricately explaining the different sections of trail and the more technical parts. So yeah, Tuesday, this next Tuesday, the 22nd, we'll be doing that. And the link will be on our site and social and whatnot. So
the Facebook site, Instagram, and your main website, people can find the link there. And I'm sure we'll probably share it as well, right, Jessica?
Yeah, we're getting some questions in the chat over on Facebook about specific race details, cutoffs for aid station and all that. So I think we should just direct everyone over to our final race briefing or that you guys are going to do, and they can get more information for that.
I like it. It's just Tuesday, so not too far away.
Correct.
So one thing, everybody knows Julie is this amazing fun race director, but do you know she's also a bad ASS ultra runner and just finished the Dreadmill 100. If anybody doesn't know what the Dreadmill is, we all know what a Dreadmill is, but there's an actual race on a treadmill for 100 miles. And tell us a little bit about that, Julie. How'd that go? It was last fall, right?
It was this past December. The race, this race has been going on before COVID even happened. So you can look it up on Ultra Sign Up, Dreadmill 100. And I did it this past year in 2021, December, and also did it in December 2020. I got talked into doing this from a friend who knew I liked running on his treadmill more than most, and thought that it would just be a fun challenge. And he was supposed to do it that year in 2020, but never made it to the start line of that race. So in 2020, Chris O'Connor, who's our art king, NorCal Ultras art king, designer extraordinaire, he and I did it. And we had no idea what we were doing. It's a complete race of strategy. You have to have a kick butt strategy in order to execute this, because if you think you're going to run 9-10 minute miles, whatever your pace is, for just 100 miles and just roll it out like that, you got another thing coming. So I learned very quickly in year one in 2020 that my 1 hour block strategy that we put together, after about 6 hours, that totally combusted and was not serving me at all. And it was just a complete kind of jigsaw puzzle, how on earth I was gonna, make it to the end of running 100 miles. And ignorance is bliss the first time around, I will say that. And though it was definitely a huge mental battle as much as physical, but a lot more mental, because you are going nowhere. And while you can get off and go to the bathroom and eat and take a nap if you want, the clock is running. So you decide how you want to do your time. And of course, I wanted to run this thing as fast as I possibly could and be done with this, so that, I didn't have to drag it out. In 2020, I finished in 19 hours, 11 minutes. I had a huge team that helped me execute both years. Sherry, Louie, Leslie, just a whole myriad of people. I will say year one, 2020, my brother came about mile 90 and played YouTube DJ. And let me say, he was a little intoxicated, which greatly helped the whole ambiance and experience of this whole thing, because it really got me to a whole other place. And he just ripped off videos right and left and did commentary, and it was hilarious. He was supposed to come back for year two, but he didn't make good on his promise there. But at any rate, 100 miles on a treadmill is very, very mind blowing and taxing. And yes, I said after year one I wouldn't do it again. And there I was this past December doing it again. But I will say that I am not doing the Dreadmill again this year. I think my team would probably shoot me. And the Dreadmill 100, just a fun experience. You can do it a bunch of different ways. Hop on that website if anybody's interested in how that all works and what you have to do. Thankful to have made, 2 of those. I was hoping to run a little bit faster this year. I was a little bit slower, not by much, but just kind of didn't have that final kick there that I had in 2020. But nonetheless, still totally proud to put 2 of those 2 years in a row together. So, and then shortly after, my hamster and I had to break up for about a month because I couldn't run on that thing at all.
So that is, I have to look into that because it's one of those, it has a buckle too. So
it does. I have 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So we're going to get near the end of the show where Jess is going to do some fun things, but just, I want to say, stay tuned everybody for Badwater, because you may see a familiar Julie at the race. So just stay tuned. Okay, Jessica?
All right, it's what we've all been waiting for. Can I get a little drum roll? So we are going to pull AR 50 or 25 for this year. This bag is very, very full. All the shares and all the comments got us over some milestones on our social media, so we really appreciate it. So here we go. Make sure I'm not. Everyone, make sure. See, I'm not cheating.
Oh,
Cheating. There's lots. I know. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. And oh my gosh, Liz Rice, you got the 2022 AR 25 or AR 50. We will be in contact. I'm gonna be real. She's one of my clients for work. This was not rigged, but that's really, really exciting. And we just talked about racing this morning, so that was a pleasant surprise. Way too cool. 2023. That feels so weird to say. That seems like a long time away. It's not. This bag is very, very full. Everyone who watched got double entries on Zoom and on Facebook. Congrats, Liv, and congrats, Victoria Griffin Kendra. She's one of our Instagram followers. 2 ladies, 1 races. Way too good for Victoria. And Liz Rice got AR 50 or 25. Yay! Thanks so much for entering the giveaway. Our podcast has become something that I think we're all dreaming of, and we're looking to make it even bigger. So if there's any small businesses in the area who want to sponsor an episode, please contact me, Mike or Greg, and we'll offer you the world. No, we'll offer you our small, amazing community. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram at the Mile 99. We are on Venmo. We do accept one-time payments if you don't want to subscribe to our Patreon, which is $1 a month, and you just want to send $5 for this episode or $1 or something. Really appreciate that. And we use a lot of it to donate back to the community. Super thankful. We have our shirt order still up, but we're about to raise the prices. So if you guys want a shirt for a pretty good deal and free shipping, that's still available on our website, which is www.themile99interview.com. What else, guys?
Rate and review. And I need to ask Jessica, if you don't know how to, like me, I need her to show me how to rate on my iPhone because I cannot figure it out. So rate and review, message Jessica, she'll tell you how to do it. That helps get our numbers up. So when we go to sponsors, they say, oh yeah, you got lots of check marks.
Well, I mean, and Mike, can we just tell everyone he still listens to it on Pandora? So I'm going to have to really get in there and help him out. But anyone who listens to it on normal Apple or Spotify, it's pretty easy. But yes, if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. We thank you guys so much for spending an hour with us. And Greg, we will see you on the trails.
See you on the
Bye,
trails.
everyone. Congratulations, ladies.
All right. See you on the trails.
thank you.